charming and always me. The river is carrying me back to the sea. The river is carrying me. You're charming and always me. The river is carrying me back to the sea. The river is carrying me.
Welcome, dear Thai, Sister Chong Kong, and World Sangha. I am Magda Cabrero. I'm delighted to be here. Please, if you would like to write in the chat your name, if you are welcome, if you feel like it, if you would like to write your name and the place where you are calling from. So Carolina, thank you so much for being my host. Please, if you have any needs, if you could please let Carolina know. So I think, yes, thank you, Carolina.
Dear friends, dear Thai, dear Sangha, thank you for being here today. We are very happy to have Magda today with us. She's part of the CTC, Airholder CTC. And I just want to give you a little bit of an idea of who she is. Maybe you have read the email, but to introduce her and to give us a little bit of time for someone else to arrive and a little bit early. So Magda, she is a mindfulness practitioner, writer, and visual artist. Maybe you have seen the draw that we sent with our email. Well, that's Magda, and she has a few books with all those beautiful pictures there, all those drawings and paintings. She is rooted in the Plum Village tradition of the Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, Thai, our dear beloved Thai. She holds a doctorate in education from the University of Maryland, and previously she served as a professor at George Mason University. And she was a facilitator of restorative justice programs for youth. For over 30 years, she has advocated for children and young people from historically marginalized communities. She worked and continues to share on her website all of that work. And the website is truejusticeforyouth.org. Magda serves as a Dharma facilitator and coordinator of the Engage Mindfulness Group, a council member of the Opening Heart Mindfulness Community in Washington, D.C., as well as a member of the International Airholder Council. She has a new book that was published last Friday. It's called Vietnam, Where a Lotus Blooms. Is that right, Magda? Yeah, that's the one. It's a pilgrimage through sacred landscapes and encounters in Vietnam, following in the footsteps of Thai. Like her earlier illustrated memoir, Mis andares por la tierra con mi maestro Thai, My Walking on Earth with Thai, it blends poetic reflection Original Artwork, Historical Memory, and Mindfulness Practice. Both books are also available in Spanish. You might have seen that the email that we sent was in English and Spanish. The daughter of a Puerto Rican father and a Venezuelan mother, Magda writes bilingually, contributing regularly to the Mindfulness Bell. Through her words and illustrations, she invites readers to listen deeply to the earth, to breathe, and to the lotus blooming within. Thank you, Magda, and thank you all for coming today. And we will enjoy this morning, afternoon together. I'm very happy as always to be with you, seeing our smiles in the screen. Maybe we can take a little second just to look around and say hello with our eyes to all the beautiful people here present. We can stop in one person and say hello. Hi, hello, dear one. You can say hello to another person now, maybe in the screen. Hello, dear one. And you can say hello to another one. Hello, dear person in that little square. Thank you all. And thank you, Magda.
Thank you so much, Carolina. I appreciate it. So welcome everyone. And today we will be honoring the waters of the earth inside of us and outside of us and around us through different ways. And the first one is going to be a guided meditation that I created based on, of course, Thai and bodhisattvas of the earth that I really respect, especially Rachel Carson. I will speak a little bit more about the other bodhisattvas that I respect. So please just feel comfortable. If you happen to have a glass of water or some water near you, or a hot, some tea or something, or we are 70% water, so we are standing with the waters anyway, right? So that's good enough for me. So please, just in any position you need, you may need to walk. Some people like to do walking meditation. You may want to lay down, whatever really you need at this moment. Thank you so much. I'm going to invite the bell, and then I will start the guided meditation. Oh, and one more thing, I'm going to let you, this is what I meditate with every morning. It's my water fountain, my little water fountain. So I'm just gonna let you look at it if you feel like it, if you happen to have your eyes open. So let me see, can you see it? It's right here. Okay. Okay. Follow your in-breath and your out-breath like gentle waves. Coming home to this moment. Breathing in, I know I am alive. Breathing out, I smile to life. Breathing in, I am aware of the water in me. Breathing out, I smile to the water in me. There are rivers flowing in my body, rivers of blood in my veins and arteries, streams in my organs. Water moves silently through every cell, carrying life. I smile to my liver, purifying 200 liters of water each day. I smile to my kidneys, balancing and releasing. I smile to the hidden river that never stops flowing inside me. Breathing in, I feel water moving through me, carrying nutrients and energy. Breathing out, I know every process in me depends on water. Water regulates my temperature, sustains my metabolism, nourishes digestion. Breathing in, I touch this miracle. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I see the rivers inside me. Breathing out, I see the rivers outside me. Inside and outside are not separate. The water in me returns to the universe. The rains, the rivers, the oceans return to me. I am a drop of water in the great Sangha of water drops. Breathing in, I remember life began in water. Breathing out, I smile to the first spark, the algae in the ancient seas. Water carries minerals from mountains to oceans, makes photosynthesis possible, balances the atmosphere. Without water, there is no life. Breathing in, I listen to the song of water. Breathing out, I smile. I hear rain falling, streams trickling, rivers rushing, waves embracing the shore. I feel the soft kiss of water on my skin, the taste of salt on my lips, the rhythm of tides in my breath. Breathing in, I imagine the ocean. Breathing out, I travel with awareness. At the surface, turquoise waters sparkle. Fish shimmer like silver walls. Portuguese men of war drift with azure wings. Jellyfish glow crystal clear. Deeper down in the sea, diatom meadows bloom. Sargassum forests drift. Plankton glow with light at night. Deeper still, colors fade to red, brown, black. Fish carry luminous organs. Prawns shed bright eggs. Jellyfish shimmer with torches of light. At the abyss, silence reigns. Ancient waters, creep along the ocean floor, carrying the remains of tiny ancient sea creatures. Even here, life endures. Breathing in, I see the ocean as the great mother of life. Breathing out, I bow to her. From her womb came the first fish, then amphibians who carried the sea within them as they walked into land. Their children, reptiles, birds, mammals, humans, still carry the salty sea in their veins. My blood is ocean water. My skeleton is a gift of calcium-rich seas. My lungs remember ancient gills. I am ocean. I am river. I am stream. Breathing in, I see coral reefs, rainforests of the sea, alive with countless beings. Breathing out, I see mangroves, estuaries, marshes, where rivers meet the sea. Breathing in, I know water heals me. Breathing out, I vow to heal the waters. Breathing in, I am water. Breathing out, I am free to flow. So we have a few more minutes to simply do silent meditation. So you could again continue meditating with any waters you would like to be mindful with. Thank you.
mute so we can hear your bell.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll do it again. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, so I hope you enjoyed the meditation, the guided one and the silent one. So I encountered this beautiful, of course, many of you, or all of you know this beautiful book, Call Me by My True Names. And I found some paragraphs that Ty wrote about the waters, and it is called The Story of a River. So I'm going to read that. And after that, after this, we will be listening to a video of Ty talking about flowing like a river. And after that, we'll do some Dharma sharing. And then finally, we're going to do a ceremony of the waters with this water fountain. And if you, in the meantime, if you want to find your cup of tea or some water, if you don't have it in front of you, some vessel with water, that would be great, because you can either look at what I do and do experience it with me, or just do it at your own home. All right, so so I'm gonna go ahead and read The Story of a River, written by Ty. Born on the top of a mountain, the little spring dances her way down. The stream of water sings as she travels. She wants to go fast. She is unable to go slowly. Running, rushing is the only way, maybe even flying. She wants to arrive. Arrive where? Arrive at the ocean. She has heard of the deep, blue, beautiful ocean. To become one with the ocean, that is what she wants. Coming down to the plains, she grows into a young river. Winding her way through the beautiful meadows, she has to slow down. Why can't I run the way I could when I was a creek? I want to reach the deep blue ocean. If I continue this slowly, how will I ever arrive there at all? As a creek, she was not happy with what she was. She really wanted to grow into a river. But as a river, she does not feel happy either. She cannot bear to slow down. Then, as she slows down, the young river begins to notice the beautiful clouds reflected in her water. They are of different colors and shapes floating in the sky, and they seem to be free to go anywhere they please. Wanting to be like a cloud, she begins to chase after the clouds, one after another. I am not happy as a river. I want to be like you, or I shall suffer. Life is really not worth living. So the river begins to play the game. She chases after clouds. She learns to laugh and cry, but the clouds do not stay in one place for very long. They reflect themselves in my water, but then they leave. No cloud seems to be faithful. Every cloud I know has left me. No cloud has ever brought me satisfaction or happiness. I hate their betrayal. The excitement of chasing after clouds is not worth the suffering and despair. One afternoon, a strong wind carried all the clouds away. The sky became desperately empty. There were no more clouds to chase after. Life became empty for the river. She was so lonely she didn't want to live anymore. But how could a river die? From something you become nothing? From someone you become no one? Is it possible? During the night, the river went back to herself. She could not sleep. She listened to her own cries, the lapping of her water against the shore. This was the first time she had ever listened deeply to herself, and in doing so, she discovered something very important. Her water was made of clouds. She had been chasing after clouds, and she did not know that clouds were her own nature. The river realized that the object of her search was within her. She touched peace. Suddenly, she could stop. She no longer felt the need to run after something outside herself. She was already what she wanted to become. The peace she experienced was truly gratifying and brought her a deep rest, a deep sleep. When the river woke up the next morning, she discovered something new and wonderful reflected in her water, the blue sky. How deep it is, how calm. The sky is immense, stable, welcoming, and utterly free. It seemed impossible to believe that this was the first time the river ever reflected the sky in her water. But that is true, because in the past, she was interested only in the clouds and she never paid attention to the sky. No cloud could ever leave the sky. She knew that the clouds were there, hidden somewhere in the blue sky. The sky must contain within itself all the clouds and all the waters. Clouds seem impermanent, but the sky is always there as the faithful home of all the clouds. Touching the sky, the river touched stability. She touched the ultimate. In the past, she had only touched the coming, going, being, and non being of the clouds. Now she was able to touch the home of all coming, going, being, and non being. No one could take the sky out of her water anymore. How wonderful it was to stop and touch. The stopping and touching brought her true stability and peace. She had arrived home. That afternoon, the wind ceased to blow. The clouds came back one by one. The river had become wise. She was able to welcome each cloud with a smile. The clouds of many colors and shapes seemed to be the same, but then again, they were no longer the same for the river. She did not feel the need to possess or chase after any particular cloud. She smiled to each cloud with equanimity and loving kindness. She enjoyed the reflections in her water, but when they drifted away, the river did not feel deserted. She waved to them, saying, "Goodbye, have a nice journey." She was no longer bound to any of the clouds. The day was a happy one. That night, when the river calmly opened up her heart to the sky, she received the most wonderful image ever reflected in her water, a beautiful full moon, a moon so bright, refreshing, smiling. The full moon of the Buddha travels in the sky of utmost emptiness. If the rivers of living beings are calm, the refreshing moon will reflect beautifully in their water. All space seemed to be there for the enjoyment of the moon, and she looked utterly free. The river reflected the moon in her water and enjoyed the same freedom and happiness. This is the last paragraph. What a wonderful, festive night for everyone. The sky, clouds, moon, stars, and water. In the boundless space, sky, clouds, moon, stars, and water enjoyed walking in meditation together. They walked with no need to arrive anywhere, not even the ocean. They could just be happy in the present moment. The river did not need to arrive at the ocean to become water. She knew she was water by nature. And at the same time, a cloud, the moon, the sky, the stars, and the snow. Why should she run away from herself? Who speaks of a river as not flowing? A river does flow, yes, but she does not need to rush. Thank you so much. So now we are going to listen to watch a short video by Thai. Thank you, Carolina.
We have to learn how to be like a river rather than to be a drop of water in the river. And it is not because we want to be the river that we can be a river. In fact, we have to train ourselves in order to be able to see us as a river and not an isolated drop of water. As a river, we can go very far. We can go to the ocean. But as a drop of water, it may be evaporated at any time. And the teaching of the Buddha is to help us to see that. And that is why every perception, every feeling has to be seen as part of the river of life. Each feeling is a drop of water in the river of feelings. We have to handle our feeling in such a way that conflict will not take place. And also our body is also a river. And every cell of our body is a kind of water drop in that river. And always flowing, always changing. If there is enough harmony in the body, and then the body can last longer and can produce a feeling of well-being. We should live in such a way that harmony be possible in our body. And our way of working, our way of resting, our way of eating, our way of handling our body is important. And we have to learn. The capacity of being in the here and the now. The capacity of being peace, being solidity. And that is why the practice of peace is important. The practice of peace is also the practice of harmony, because nature has its own course. And if you allow nature to go its course, if we know how not to disrupt the course of nature, how not to set up obstacles, and then it will be possible that peace, harmony continue to be there. We should know how to allow our body to operate in harmony, to flow like a river.
I hope everyone has enjoyed our gathering so far, that you feel peaceful. That's the whole point, right, of this, the biggest point. So I'm going to share just a little bit, a few lines before we open the space for everyone to share. So I can tell you, yes, a little bit about my own experience and some of my reflections as I've been reading so much about experiencing the waters first, because I was raised in Puerto Rico, surrounded by waters. And then I've done like a lot of reading because I just love the topic of waters. So I can say that since I started this path more than a decade ago, I believe that my gratitude and resonance with the waters and for the waters of the earth have become like stronger and stronger. And now when I go to the beach in Puerto Rico, which I go very often because my mother is 93, so I go there very often and I breathe with the waves. In the past, I never had any idea how to do that or what that meant or so forth. So through all these years, I have wanted to really learn from the big bodhisattvas of the world who really deeply care about the waters. So I really wanted to understand, right? Why is water so important, so meaningful? And I can say that for me, the bodhisattvas that have influenced me deeply have been Thai, of course, Rachel Carson, David Attenborough, Vandana Shiva, who's Indian, who wrote one of the books I just read is Water Wars. And there is a Dr. Emoto, Dr. Masaru Emoto, who has written a lot about how vibrations coming from us influence the waters and create crystals. That is a controversial topic because the scientific community doesn't really endorse it as such, but that's okay with me. As you know, there are many things in the world that have never been scientific, but I think they're still pretty kind of real, at least from me, from my perspective. So, all the miracles and a lot, like the belief in God, for example. So anyway, so I think a very important experience for me, other than being surrounded by the waters in Puerto Rico, was going to France, Lourdes, in the south of France, with my parents. My father was a very good Catholic man, not because he was religious, but because he was a very good man. And he took us to, in full reverence, to this place where the Virgin Mary, he believed the Virgin Mary had appeared to Saint Bernadette. And that was a I get goosebumps thinking about that experience, right? And at that time I was a child, right? So I thought, of course, we brought the holy waters to my house, and it was like very important waters. And then as I have read so much and I've gotten to learn so many things, I wonder, and like when I read Dr. Emoto, I wonder if it is that we influence the waters too, or our gratitude is such that we already feel better. We are 70% water after all. So I feel, if, like Dr. Emoto says, when the waters inside are stagnant, you are sick. Okay, the waters in the world are stagnant, they're sick. So, I wonder, why is it? Maybe it is mutual. Maybe it is that we heal each other in a way, and Vandana Shiva actually said that the Ganges has some antibacterial minerals that really kill the bacteria in the Ganges. So, I'm thinking, is it the minerals that are coming from the mountains down to the Ganges, or is it that people go in such gratitude to those places that either heal the waters or heal themselves, right? And then, so then I thought about thinking of, I always find resonance with Thai in many of my world experiences. And I remember the book that Thai wrote called Cultivating the Mind of Love, about falling in love, actually. And the way he begins his book is by explaining when he was 9 years old, he went to like he was on a field trip going to Nason mountain, and he wanted to find a hermit. He already knew he wanted to become a monk at the age of 9, right? And he wanted to find a hermit who was a monk, who was a very spiritual man, and he couldn't find him, but he found a well. And finding that well for him was so healing that he immediately fell asleep. And then he told his friends in French for some reason, but he said, I have tasted the most tasteful, the most delicious water in the world. And he was 9 years old. And he always felt he had found the hermit, and he had found true love through the waters. And then, of course, he explains in that book how he actually fell in love with a real person, a real woman. So, it's a beautiful book about love, waters, healing, and interbeing, right, between us and the waters and all that. So let me see. So I think about that, and I also think about why, for example, in Japan, they always erect, where they are Shintos and Buddhists, right? So where they always erect big sacred places where the waters are rising from the land. Why is that, right? Why is it that we are always finding waters to celebrate everything, to do everything, to it's just unbelievable. It's amazing how much we use water, all right? And we cannot live without water. So let me see. So the last thing I wanted to tell you is, and I love the word bhakti that Vandana Shiva uses in her book. That is the reverence, it's like reverence for the waters, and I love the fact that Vandana Shiva always talks about everything in the earth as the commons, and how modern times and, greed and industrialization have taken away us away from the amazingly reverence deserving waters of the world, right? And how everybody is supposed to be allowed to have water. And she something I really care about in that book is that she talks about how in the past, when people went to the Ganges or sacred places, they would have free water, but now it would be Coca-Cola, some plastic bottles of water, so she's very upset about those things, of course, and how many people don't have access to water anymore because of those reasons, right? So, and the very last thing I want to tell you, so when I come in the morning, this is my temple, my sanctuary. The first thing I do when I wake up, I start my breathing, because I think of Thai immediately, and I spend the whole morning trying to meditate in every single step. But I always go, the first thing, what do? I get water for my tea, and I love oolong from Vietnam, because I was in Vietnam and I adore Thai and Vietnam. So yeah, I try to have oolong, and then I always start my water fountain, and I always with such gratitude, and then I water my plants that I touch because I adore them, and I feel they're, and I have an apple that is always an apple that has so much water. So it's like, oh my God, this is just the beginning. What would I do without water, right? So that, and then I'm gonna leave you my Dharma sharing. I'm going to read two very short passages by Emoto in the Hidden Messages of Water, the very first page, page 1 after the prologue. Because I think of the Sangha, like I'm thinking, oh my God, we are all water, we are here. I still haven't seen how many people are here. I prefer not to do that at the beginning, numbers shouldn't mean much. So, but I'm thinking we are all water, and we are all together, and this is a Sangha of water, the waters of the world, right? So he writes, the various events that unfold throughout a person's life are events reflected in water. The individual and society make up one enormous ocean. By adding our individual drops to this ocean, we participate in the formation of society. And then the very last thing, this is my favorite paragraph by Attenborough, Alive on Our Planet, when he describes coral reefs. Coral reefs have an incredible meaning for me, because Puerto Rico was the victim of what hurricane that was, right? And how it affected my whole life, my family, everything, right? Everything I love there was affected. So every time I see a mangrove or a coral reef, I am so, so grateful because it only adds land to Puerto Rico and protects it. So, and I'm so grateful for many environmentalists in Puerto Rico. So this is very quick. It's just one sentence by David Attenborough, who writes very long sentences. But on a reef, a whole community of small, on a reef, a whole community of small fish, shrimps, sea urchins, sponges, and shell-less tentacle-cloaked mollusks, libelously called seal slugs, look as if they have been decorated by imaginative school children in shades of pink, orange, purple, red, and yellow. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Carolina, so now we are getting ready to do some Dharma sharing. So as a group, so Carolina, do you have the guidelines? Could you share the guidelines, please? Okay, there they are. If you can read them for a few seconds or, a minute or so, and then we can open the.
Thank you. Thank you, Magda. Thank you, dear friends. And thank you for, for flowing. Thank you, Magda. I'm wondering if, two things. Do you want us to go into small groups? You're muted.
I'm okay with not small groups. The only thing, if people need to share, we don't have that much. Let me see, how much time do we have? We have,
We have like 25 minutes to the hour.
oh, okay. So, yes, I think it's okay not to do, it's okay not to have small groups. The group is not that large. So I think, as long as people are succinct in what they say, if they feel like saying anything, silence is perfectly fine as well. I'm good with that. Thank you,
Okay.
Carol.
Thank you. We have 27 today, including ourselves. So, yes, Cheryl, there you are. Cheryl will guide us into the Dharma sharing. Thank you.
Dear Ty, dear beautiful earth holders, thank you so much, Magda. This was such a beautiful and deep offering. So it looks like we're not breaking it into small groups, but that we'll be sharing as a large group. I've put some Dharma sharing guidelines in the chat. So please, if you're new to Dharma sharing or haven't been with us in a while, please take a look at that. What we share here is confidential. And most importantly, that this is a time to, a fortunate time to practice loving speech and deep listening. And in doing so, I know for me, it's such a support from my own practice that every time someone speaks, it deepens my own practice. It reflects so much of what I'm feeling. So it's a gift to be listening and a gift to be speaking to all of us, for all of us. And as it says in the guidelines, we try to speak from our heart and from our experience, not necessarily teaching, and with no cross talking. And again, what's shared here is confidential. So I hope that gives everyone an idea. Also being aware of time and being sure that there's that what we share is succinct and allows time for others. And then when we do speak, to bow in, and when we're finished, to also bow so that the Sangha knows that we are finished. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. I'm just going to say that I'm going to stop the recording.
Yes, so I am going to light some incense, Palo Santo, which is very, very important forever, right? When it has to do with the earth. And I'm going to thank, I adore Avalokiteshvara, but I will also thank Pachamama and all the goddesses that have to do with the earth. Kwan Am, that was everywhere, like which is a Vietnamese Avalokiteshvara, or the Canon Buddha in Japan. The Kwan Am is in Vietnam, right? That was everywhere when we went to Vietnam, and it's female, right? So it's very beautiful. So I am going to light the candle. Thank you so much, Avalokiteshvara. This is an adobe. This is adobe from New Mexico. That is my sanctuary in the United States. I don't know. I cannot see myself now. So can you see the fountain? I cannot see myself for some reason. Sorry.
Little lower your camera.
Lower. Okay. Can you see it now? Can you see it, Cara?
A little bit more.
Now? Okay. Yeah. So okay. So this is a little adobe house that I bought in New Mexico. I just love it. And then so this is Palo Santo. Thank you, Avalokiteshvara, Pachamama, and all of you. During this moment, you may just thank the waters of the world in you or around you. And you may now soon toss the water like from one container to another if you can, offering the water to express your aspiration. I'm going to say a few phrases, a few aspirations I have while I toss the water, pour the water. I offer this water for the healing of the waters, for the quenching of the thirst of all who suffer, for refreshing all those bodhisattvas who are burning out during these difficult times, for all our children, no matter where they come from or who their parents are, and all the future generations, all our ancestors. If you want to, you may also sprinkle water on yourself or anything you love, because now I think this is now a divine water. has transformed thanks to our vibrations of love and gratitude. Caro, if you want, we could start the chant "Go as a River" by Plum Village. Thank you so much.
I wanna go as a river, not as a drop of water, as a flowing harmony. Selfishness we surrender. I wanna go as a river, not as a drop of water. We learn to live mindfully, truly there for each other. Our precious dream of spirituality, how wonderful to be able to see that we are all water, that we are all water. So I wanna go as the river, not as a drop of water. For sure we will reach the sea of peace, love, and clarity. I wanna go as a river, not as a drop of water, that is flowing harmony. Selfishness we surrender. I wanna go as a river, not as a drop of water. We learn to live mindfully, truly there for each other. Our precious stream of spirituality, how wonderful to be able to see that we are all water, that we are all water. So I wanna go as a river, not as a drop of water. For sure we will reach the sea of peace, love, and clarity. Our precious dream of spirituality, how wonderful to be able to see that we are all water, that we are all water, that we are all water, that we are all water.
Thank you so much, Carol, and everyone. So this is bringing us to the end. So I'm going to invoke the two merits I have here. And yes, and that's all. So, oh, and then at the end, you're gonna hear 3 bells, and I'll tell you what to do with the bells. But so. May this water of compassion flow to all beings. May the rivers, oceans, lakes, and streams be protected and renewed. Maybe we live in harmony with the water within and around us. May all beings everywhere delight in whale song, bird song, and blue sky. May all beings abide in peace and well-being. May all beings awaken and be free. I'm going to invite the two bells, but then I'll tell you a bit more. Yes, so thank you so much, everyone. It's been beautiful to be with you. You're gonna hear 3 small bells, 1 to stand up, 1 to bow to one another, if you are able, and then one to bow to anything, anyone you really revere at this moment. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carol. Have an incredible month. May God bless you. Maybe be blessed according to every beautiful thing you've done to this earth and to all its beings. And Carol, I will send you. I got your email. I'll send you